Hey guys, welcome back to the garden. I was out doing some work here in the garden on a beautiful day. We had some watermelon that I was going to pot up. So what we've got right here is a compost barrel that we just throw all of our scraps into if our bin here is full and then we don't have any room in our worm compost pile either. What happens is since we throw the cores, the whole thing in there, and it's outside in the elements, all of this stuff starts to sprout in that bin here. And so while I was digging through it, I figured it would be amazing compost to start some of these watermelon seedlings. While I was digging through it though, I found this, which looks to be a peach seed. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna take from that same compost bin right here, that barrel, and we're gonna fill up one of these buckets right here with that compost and then mix in a little bit of peat moss and regular topsoil with it. And I'm gonna see if I can get this peach seed to grow. I'm gonna give you guys a couple of closer shots of this to see what it looks like. You can see that the seed starts to split open and then that very first root is growing out of there. I'm gonna put this in the pot facing down so that root is facing the bottom of the pot. That way it can continue growing. So essentially I'm gonna pot it in just like that. I just thought it was pretty cool that this thing had probably been sitting outside all winter with temperatures going all the way down to -10, -15 degrees. And yet here it is the spring afterwards and still sprouting. So we're gonna get this thing growing. Hopefully I can grow it long enough to where it becomes a seedling and a sapling. And then we will plant it outside and let it do its thing. Maybe just by chance, it might be a variety that survives outside. I'll probably grow it in a pot for the first couple of years. We'll probably use one of our larger, I think they're 5-gallon easy pots. So when it comes time to swap this thing out, it'll be nice and easy to put into the ground. But we should know by then if this thing is gonna be viable at all or if it is even gonna continue to grow. But if it does, I'm really curious to see if maybe by chance this is something that's gonna grow year after year for us. Even in this zone 5B that we have here in southeastern Wisconsin, I'm kind of curious and it's gonna be a pretty fun experiment. So I'm gonna make sure that I keep on posting update videos on this as it grows into a sapling and everything and show you guys the care that I'm gonna be giving it. It's gonna be real basic. We've got a soil, like I said before, is a mixture of a lot of compost, peat moss, and regular topsoil. I'm gonna keep that in that mixture, make sure that it's a well-draining mixture, but the water level stays pretty moderate, so we're gonna keep it moist while it's a seedling here and slowly reduce the amount of watering as it gets older. That's what I do with all of my trees, and I think this peach isn't gonna be much different either. If it grows, I'm gonna be super excited. It's a free peach tree. Granted that it might not produce fruit, we're not sure yet, but heck, that's what gardening's all about. Figure while I have you guys, I'll show you all of the willow trees, elderberry trees, and then our Chicago fig that we've got growing right now. We've got those all outside and ready to transport to our new home. So very excited for all these. I'll give you a quick update on them while I have you. So down over on that side, we have the weeping willows. Then we have the basket weaving willows, curly willows over here. And then this is an elderberry. And back over here, these larger ones that are about 2.5 feet tall. These are all elderberries too. All of the elderberries are doing great. I'm very happy with the growth that we've gotten off of them. And this one in the Easy Swap pot is also doing fantastic. We should be seeing fruit come off of those within the next year or two. And a lot of these willows will be ready for sale next year. What we're gonna do is plant a few of the biggest ones in our yard so we can take cuttings from them and sell those cuttings. And then all of the others we're gonna sell off in the pot like we would year after year from this point on. So I hope it goes good selling these things. I know that a major precaution is going to be just making sure that people who buy them are aware where they put these weeping willows. Otherwise, curly willows can go in a lot of different locations because they're not nearly as aggressive of a grower as the weeping willows. But nonetheless, I am just super excited for all these things, and I hope you guys are too. Maybe one day I will be shipping out cuttings of these too. So it's all in the journey of my life here in the garden. We're expanding so fast, and what can I say? I'm just very excited for the growth that we're seeing here. Everything is doing great. If you don't know how to grow these from cuttings, I have a whole playlist on weeping willow tree care, propagation. It shows all my updates on them too, so go and check that out if you guys want to know more about growing weeping willow trees, curly willow trees, and elderberries from cuttings too. The unfortunate part is I won't be able to spend a lot of time on our vegetable garden here since this is the in-laws house and we're moving to our new property this next week, which has nothing on it. No vegetable gardens at all, and it's going to be kind of late in the season to grow summer crops. So we're probably going to be growing fall crops if we get all the garden beds built. But primarily, I really want to focus on getting all the perennial fruits and vegetables growing. That way, since they take a little bit longer to start producing more fruit, I want to put those in first because I'm going to have the longest return out of those sort of plants. I will be growing vegetables there. I still have the 2 other raised garden beds that we're growing vegetables in, but I just found out that the rabbits went and ravaged that whole thing, like all of my radishes, all of my beets, a lot of my carrots and peas were all eaten up by the rabbits. So what I did instead is I planted a bunch of tomatoes in there. We've got cucumbers in there too. And then we'll be planting pole beans and bush beans here this next week. So hopefully those all make it past the rabbits, but the root crops, beets, radishes, peas, not so good. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you found this video entertaining and possibly even learned a little bit. As always, feel free to subscribe and hit that bell button so you're notified of every time we have a new update on all of the many different projects we have here in the garden. Thank you all for watching. Take care, and we'll see you in the next episode.